Hey guys! So, most people when they start CrossFit have kind of a rough start or introduction to it just because usually it's doing things that probably your body's not used to doing. And I was no exception. My introduction to CrossFit was not the best. So I have a couple of stories for you today about how I got started with CrossFit. So my first story, when my very, very first CrossFit workout ever, so my oldest sister, Anna, had moved out to California, and so Rhoda and I decided we were going to move out there and live with her because we could. And so we moved out there, and Anna had already started CrossFit at a CrossFit gym, and she was really into it, and she was telling us about it, and we were like, what is this weird thing? She's like flipping up to the wall and doing like push-ups or something, and we were really had no idea what it was. But then there was one week that the gym, the box that they were going to, had a Saturday morning. It was like a family and friend day, so bring your family and friends for free to do this workout. And so Anna and Rhoda are like, Julia, you gotta come to this workout. And I really didn't want to go, but they bribed me into it by saying we were gonna like get shakes afterwards or something. So I was like, all right, fine. So I went to this workout, and it was a partner workout. So I partnered with Anna, and it was all body weight stuff. And we finished it okay. We obviously weren't the fastest in class. I was very out of shape. But I finished it, and it was all fine. And I felt pretty good afterwards. We went and got a shake, and I was like, yeah, it was so great, and whatever. And then the next day, we were planning on going to Monterey. We were going to spend the whole day there. We were going to go hiking. And so I remember my alarm goes off the next morning at 5 a.m. or whatever, and I wake up, and I'm just laying there, and I'm like, I cannot move any part of my body. Every single muscle in my body was like just absolutely achy, and I was like, this is the worst feeling I've ever felt in my life. I rolled myself out of bed, somehow got myself dressed, and then I walk out to have breakfast, and Rhoda and Anna are like, hey, are you sore? And I'm like, no, not at all, because I could not give them the satisfaction of saying that I was sore, so I had to pretend the entire day that I wasn't sore at all. I remember laying in the backseat of the car, looking up at the sky, like, I was looking out the window just thinking, I've never been in this much pain before in my life, and this is terrible. And then they were just all happy and like bopping to their tunes or whatever, and it was just a terrible, terrible day. And it was supposed to be a good day, but I could barely walk. So that was my very first introduction to CrossFit, my very first workout. It was terrible. So after that, I didn't do it again for quite a while because it was terrible and I couldn't move. So then, the next time I did CrossFit actually was I'd come back to Minnesota, and Rhoda decided she was going to write me this full workout, or this full notebook full of workouts that I was supposed to do by myself at the YMCA. That was the Fergus Falls YMCA where we lived, so I could like get in shape. And she was going to go back to California with Anna, so I was supposed to do this on my own. And this was Rhoda's first attempt at programming. It was really, really bad. Like really bad. She didn't know what she was doing, and I think she just think of the worst thing she could possibly think of and then think, this is a great idea, let's make Julia do this. So, one of the workouts, she did a 15 factorial of thrusters and sit-ups, but then it was 3 rounds. So I do 15 thrusters, and then I do 15 sit-ups, and then 14, and then 14, and 13, 13, and then I'd finish it, and that took me a good 15 minutes, and then I'd do it 2 more times. I don't know why I kept doing it, but for some reason I just kept, I don't know, it was the worst thing ever. Also, at the Fergus Falls YMCA, they had a track and little place to work out upstairs, and then they had the weight room with all the barbells and everything and all the actual workout equipment downstairs, but only guys went down there because this is a very small town, and I was scared to go down there because no girls went down there, so I would only work out upstairs with all the old people, and so I would be upstairs doing these Metcons, sprinting around the track and then doing squats or thrusters or whatever. And I had several old people come up to me and ask me if I was training for the Olympics because they'd never seen anybody work out that hard before. And I was I felt really good about myself in the moment, and then I was just that's kind of sad. And then one time I was trying to do, this was before I could do toes to bar, so I was doing knees to elbows on this. It was not even a bar, it was just thingamajig by the track, and I was trying to do knees to elbows, and these little girls are like walking around the track, and the one stops her friend, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, look, there's a gymnast!" And then they all crowd around me and are watching me trying to do knees to elbows, and I was like, "Are you serious right now? This is my worst nightmare. All these children pointing at me." And then they got bored really quickly because they realized I only had one move and I couldn't even do that. So they moved on, which was good. So that was a chapter in my life when I was trying to do CrossFit workouts at the Y. Didn't go so well, partly because Rhoda sucked at programming and partly because, well, I was scared to go downstairs. So it was just old people and children staring at me everywhere I went. So then, finally, Rhoda comes back in California. She moves back to Minnesota, and she started working out with me at the Y. And when Rhoda comes back, she made us go down into the weight room with all the scary, huge lifter guys because she said we couldn't work up upstairs with all the old people. So we go down in the actual weight room, which was a big step for me because they were scary. And so there was this one night, she asked me to do Cindy, 20-minute AMRAP. And I was in the middle of this workout, and as I'm trying to get through this 20-minute AMRAP, the intercom at the Y keeps going like, "The Y will be closing in 30 minutes. And I'm like, all right, well, I got 15 minutes to go, so we're doing good. And it's like, "The Y will be closing in 20 minutes. And I'm like, all right, so I just keep going. And then this old lady who is working the front desk comes downstairs, and she looks at me. Me and Rhoda are the only two in the weight room right now because the Y's closing in like 20 minutes. And I'm in the middle of this, super intense Cindy workout, and Rhoda's just standing there like yelling at me and holding the timer because that's what Rhoda did. And she just looks at us, and then she just flips off all the lights in the weight room, and I'm just in pitch black. And then she just walks back upstairs. And I think she was like very passive aggressively telling us to get out. But I look at Rhoda, I'm like, well, that is if there was ever a good reason to stop a workout, it is that, because it is pitch black. I can't see anything. And Rhoda's like, "You're losing time, keep going." So I finished the last about 10 minutes of Cindy in pitch black. Yeah, that's what Rhoda makes you do. But it's kind of funny to think back on where we've come from, because especially for me, CrossFit was I didn't have a very great start. It was hard. It was embarrassing. It was, it hurt physically and mentally and every other way. And yeah, CrossFit it can be hard to start. It can be a hard transition, but it's definitely worth it because, just thinking about where I've come from and where I am now, it's a dramatic difference. And the same for Mickey, for him too. And I'm so much happier with where I am now. So even when it's rough and when old people are staring at you and children are flocking or at your feet, and people are shutting all the lights off, it is worth it to keep pushing and to keep giving it your all and keep crossfitting. The end. Oh, so nerve-wracking.
I came to America through my company. I'm a controller, so I'm sitting at a desk, clicking buttons, make decisions sometimes. They bought a company here in Fargo 3 years ago, and they needed somebody who can do what we called the financial integration. That was basically adjusting the local financial system to the rules we have in our group in the company and in Germany. And they asked me for that, and after a couple of days of thinking, yeah, why not? So I moved to Fargo. I came to Cheyenne with a CrossFit through John Eeb. I was invited to a barbecue party at his house, and some of the coaches were there too. And they asked me when I want to join, and I said, well, I don't know yet. And then John consistently asked me when I want to join, when do you join? And one day he wore me down. So I joined. It's very important to stay active, especially when you have a desk job like me. In Germany we have a saying, it says, "Bei Rücken hilft nur Muskel," which basically means when you have back pain, only muscle helps. A couple of years ago I woke up in the middle of the night and I had really bad back pain. I tried chiropractor and so on. It helped, yes, but since I joined CrossFit, it helped within weeks, so I got rid of the pain. The pain was gone. I That's actually a very good thing. If you think about joining a CrossFit gym, just do it. There's nothing wrong with it. People usually, at least at China or CrossFit, they will treat you like a great friend. So there's nothing you have to be worried about or intimidated. So just go there. Today is the last workout for me. I hope I don't get too emotional. I just want to say thank you to everybody. It was a great time. I really had so much fun, and it was, especially for the coach, with the coaches, that was amazing. When I go back to Germany, I definitely want to join a CrossFit gym there. And if you ever tried or want to go to Germany, you're always invited. Hamburg is a great place to be. They have some pretty cool CrossFit gyms too. So if you want to try them out, go for it. But I really want to say, tschüss und auf Wiedersehen.